I feel like in the way that I grew up, but I found that a lot of immigrants, a lot of people of color relate to like, well, like we maybe didn't have parents that showed us love in the ways that we wanted. But then as you mature in age, like you kind of see like, okay, maybe they showed love in these other ways that I didn't really understand. It's not what I asked for and not what I needed maybe. Like, first off, I guess, did y'all go through something like that growing up? Is that something that kind of still sits with you as you become kind of like the power dynamics completely switched now, right? Like now you have children where you want to show them love in all the ways that you possibly can. But sometimes maybe that's not the kind of love maybe they'll ask for.
For sure. That's a valid question. I think that's something like I probably spent a lot of time thinking about, like just about my relationship with my dad, which wasn't a great one. But I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. Like, I think it's been shown, like, especially for immigrant parents who just like, for whatever cultural reason, like, I love you is not a phrase that they say very often, if ever, you know? And it's funny because I can't remember growing up, like while I was still living at home, my dad saying that to me. But after I moved out, there was a couple times he did, and it was so like,
it becomes like foreign, right? It's
yeah, like
that's
that,
how
it feels weird coming from you, like, and that's also kind of the weird thing is like, because that's how we were raised and stuff, it still feels easier for me to say I love you to my wife than it is to my mom, even though my mom's known me for obviously my entire life. But like you said, like for a lot of immigrant parents, they just show love in that different way of just, bro, I'm providing for you. Like, what you mean? That's, don't you know I love you? Like, what the fuck? I just went out there and busted my fucking ass. Like, I wouldn't do that shit if, you know, I didn't love you. But not even saying all that, right? This is us as mature individuals looking back and being like, okay, like, yeah, maybe he didn't know how to express it, but he did. But that is definitely something I've given a lot of thought to, because I don't want to be like that. Like, I don't want to wait until there's an issue or some kind of problem or I'm scared or something to like let my child know I love them, right? Also because I want them to know that I'm always going to be in their corner. So even if, you know, they might be disappointed, you're just like, fuck, I got to let them know just because, you know, this is going on with me, just to let them know, not even looking for a solution. It's something that I'm going to be very intentional about with my kid. Not only that, I've been really big with like, even just kind of asking random people like, hey, what's like a habit that you picked up or that you dropped, either intentionally or unintentionally, like when you had a kid? Because children really do, like, and I'm sure like Nick probably has plenty of examples of this, they really do learn by like just looking at us. Like, forget what we say, they're gonna just copy what you do. They're copycats. So like, just those habits of every day, like, okay, what am I gonna do? One, to show them I love them besides just telling them, and two, to like give them the right cues for them to pick up on.
Man, I just had such a different experience. I was in such a broken home and like didn't have a dad at all, period. And then my mom was more like my sister or like a coworker, but love wasn't a word that was ever used or shown. It makes me wonder, like, man, what kind of person would I be had I had, like, you know, the way I raise Ellie is like, I've always looked at it like, what if I had someone like me in my life? And I feel like I could have done anything. Like, I could have been whatever I wanted to be in this world. I think I could have done it had I had the right circumstances around me. And my child is just as capable as I am. I think that for me to show up and be that loving person and help guide her and be there for her for like conversations that, you know, I couldn't have growing up because I didn't have someone there to have those conversations with me. I raised my siblings from when I was like 9 to 17 till I moved out. So I had a ton of responsibility from my early teenage years. I shouldered so much responsibility as a kid. And part of me raising my children now is to make sure that they get to be kids and don't have to shoulder so much responsibility. And I want to protect my kids from that kind of a thing and make sure that they have a foundation of love and acceptance and guidance and enough room for them to like scrape their knees and like, you know, make mistakes and learn from their mistakes. I can't protect them from everything, but I want their growth to be healthy, and I want to be a, you know, as big a part of that as I can.
This makes me think, what did you have to maybe unlearn, or maybe learn for the first time, relearn about love back then versus what does love mean for y'all now? Because I resonate with both of what y'all are saying, like growing up in a broken home, but also like just not really hearing the words "I love you" as well. Like, or like if I hear it, it's cringy. Like it just like it doesn't sound natural because this is not what we do. So yeah, what cycles are we breaking, y'all? Like, you know.
I think for me, like, and I spent a lot of time on this because my dad actually passed in 2019, right before the pandemic, and I spent a lot of time like wishing I could have had a conversation with him before it happened, in terms of like, yo, this is how I feel, because I actually ended up like leaving my parents when I was 17 and like leaving home, getting my own job, like before I even leaving to college, and like thinking to myself like, what the fuck am I doing? Like like, but it was just that bad. I was like, I got to do something. I can't fucking stay here. But spending a lot of time wishing like I could tell him, like, I was about to say bro. Yeah, no, not saying that.
Say bruh.
But bruh, like, when you said this is how it made me feel. Like how do you expect me to react this way if you're doing this? And I think at the end of the day, to answer your question about like my views on love and how it's might have shifted, it really comes down to communication and how you communicate things, right? Some of the communication is like actually communicating that. I'm really big on diction and your word choice. That matters so much, whether you're like conscious of it or not, but as well as like what you are showing, what you are doing. Like, you can say one thing, but your actions can say another. So I think really in all relationships, I know we're talking specifically about love, but like, it sounds so fucking like an office poster, like communication is key, but it really fucking is. Like, I feel like with my dad, like, even though I knew he did love us, like, I mean, I was his fucking sixth kid. So it's like, what he said and the way he said it, even when he was like, oh, I'm doing this because I love you, because like I want you to succeed, blah blah blah, it was really the way of communication. Like, if you're constantly screaming at somebody, like, they're not going to hear the message, right? Also, if you're not speaking to them at a level that they could understand, right? You're not going to speak to a 5-year-old with like college fucking vocabulary. So I think it's really just making sure your message is coming across. So putting in the right form that they can understand, but also having your actions backing it up. So that's the way I am, honestly, with everything. I just had like an issue with a coworker 3 weeks ago. It was a conversation I did not want to have, but it was an issue that like I was thinking about it for the entire week. And this is from my like second job that I'm not trying to put any kind of like conscious thought. I'm a busser. I should not be thinking about work when I'm not here. Like, my job is not that important, but it bothered me that much. So being able to like, and that's something I'm really like proud of myself about. Just, I know I'm a good communicator, and being able to communicate something like that, where like, look, this is what you said to me last week. I felt very disrespected by it because of A, B, and C. Here's the reason I didn't bring it up initially. Like, it takes me a while to identify my feelings, blah, blah, blah. And here's what I would like you to do moving forward. Let me know if there's something I can do moving forward. Versus wanting to like say what I feel and go based off my emotions, which is like, fuck you, bitch. You fucking disrespected me. I don't need this job. I'll fuck you up.
You're asking for accountability.
Exactly.
Like, you were clear, like, this is the harm that was done. Let me express this to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I would like to ask from you for accountability. Like, that's very like mature and admirable, right?
Right. So, but in the sense of like knowing that, okay, in this same way that I was able to speak to this adult who is an adult, I need to be 2, 3, 4 times as effective in the way I'm communicating whatever the issue is when I have my child and they can't understand everything I'm saying, but I need to deliver it in a way that they can understand it. Even if it's just, hey, just because I love you, like, help me do this. We're gonna do it together, okay? Whatever the issue is, just to communicate it to a point where they can understand. Because again, if you're just trying to overpower somebody to communicate that, they're gonna shut down. That's just what it is.